Well, James, we're going into 2024 on a slightly depressing note. I mean, today was a must-win game for all intents and purposes, and we actually got off to a decent start. Got the goal, looking good, but then it's almost as if things went all the way downhill from there on in. You're a man of many words, a man of great articulation. Sum up what we saw today.
Firstly, Happy New Year to everyone, and Arsenal fans, or and I know some other fans might be watching this, but just go, spend time with whoever and go into the New Year right. That's the first thing. Don't let this ruin your New Year's Eve. Secondly, on the game, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say, Laurie. I could say not all hope is lost. We're going through a bad patch. Teams go through them. Or I could say this has been a trend that's been creeping towards us this season. From not being as expansive this season at the start, not looking as good going forward to, withdrawals against Fulham at home and Tottenham at home and going, okay, but we're more controlled. And we beat City, okay. And then you lose at Newcastle. We didn't seem to have the answers, in attack. We go 1-0 down at Villa. We don't seem to have the answers in attack to find one back, although we missed a lot of chances in that game. And then you go to West Ham the other night. Again, loads of chances, but sloppy at the back. And then this was kind of like everything we've done wrong this season. We were outplayed by Fulham. That wasn't just park the bus job. We were comprehensively outplayed. They had the better chances. They played the better football. They were on top of us. They worked harder than us. They had more ideas. They mixed things up tactically. We didn't create enough, so it wasn't a case of just missing chances. Then the chances we did have, we missed. But then it's hard to be too harsh on those players when we are getting so few in a game. That wasn't the story of the other night. So I don't know. Something's really wrong with this team right now. I didn't like Mikel Arteta's starting 11. I was all for making changes, but making changes to the players that clearly needed a break. Instead, it's Jesus who comes out of the team. Now, I'm not saying Jesus has been great, but what does Martinelli deserve to earn a spot? But then when he is playing, Martinelli essentially makes the first goal happen. I thought he did okay today. He wasn't great. Saka was struggling generally, but again, it's Martinelli that comes off. Havertz sees the 90. What's Jorginho done? It's crazy because you work so hard to convince... He does this a lot, Arteta, by the way. He does a lot to convince us that his signings are right. Ramsdale, Jorginho. And then he replaces Ramsdale. And Jorginho, you feel like when you need a bit of control in the game, he doesn't turn to him. I thought that was true of the other night against West Ham as well. I'm baffled by some of Arteta's decision-making at the moment.
Without wishing to give the manager any type of get-out, but should the players take some responsibility today? Because I'm looking at that team, and I've got to say, for me, there was a lack of intensity there, especially that's exacerbated when you consider the performance the other day, which wasn't a bad performance in itself, but the fact that we got beaten at home by West Ham, I was expecting to see an element of backlash today. And I thought in that first 5 minutes, I thought, actually, yeah, you know what? They're here to make a statement today. But unfortunately, it didn't materialise.
No, everyone takes blame today. I think everyone has got a little... Because we're longing for what happened last season, it feels like people have gotten maybe a little carried away with things that were starting to look on the up. I want to mention a player in a sec, but I won't start with him because everyone seems to think I have an agenda now. So let's start with Kai Havertz, for example. He was building himself into form. I've sat here and given him credit. But for anyone who was saying he's looking our best midfielder, he's looking great, we really, really missed him against West Ham. I think maybe on the end of a few chances against West Ham, maybe we did. The Jesus header, for example. But no, like people were going too far with it. He hadn't cemented that spot as 100% his own. I still was open to the idea of Rice still being the 8 with Jorginho in that side. Ødegaard, the Wolves and the West Ham performances at home, where he did some really good stuff. He did some really frustrating things as well. And today was all frustration, not just from him, from the whole front three. And no one should be surprised because they've been showing us bits of that. Havertz wasn't that involved today, but we've been seeing that throughout the season. So we can all be the question is, to take it back to your question, you asked about responsibility. The players need to take responsibility in game because you can plan tactically everything and all that, but in the end you got to feel on the pitch what's right, what you need to do to try and get yourself into this game. It doesn't feel like the players are doing. They're not relying on instinct. They're turning to the patterns of play, the system, what Arteta's asked him to do. But at the same time, if that system is wrong and the players are trying to execute that, then that's an Arteta problem. Because we put out a video on this channel 2 days ago, I think, maybe yesterday, 2 days ago, where I said these solutions will maybe give Arsenal, it might not fix our attack, but they'll give us other solutions to goal. So Martinelli and Saka were two of our biggest goal threats last season, bigger than Jesus. How about we get them nearer to goal? They're so wide, they get doubled up on. How about we get them nearer, in and around our strikers? Jesus is good at holding up the ball, can actually bring them into play. Maybe they can get some shots off. Maybe they can ask some questions of Leno. Why do we never go long? Why is there never a speculative ball, over the top? Why do our fullbacks never overlap? And when they do, it's kind of too late, like when everyone's already got players in the box. Look at their first goal. Robinson overlaps from a counter. Like, Willian comes inside, gets the ball, their tackles in transition, Robinson comes the other way. And when he puts that ball into the box, it's not easy to defend because we're running on the back foot. We never ask these questions of the opposition. And that's an Arteta problem for me.
Yeah, a lot of people have been commenting saying that we're far too predictable. And when things are not going our way, we don't have a plan B. And I think that was evident today as well. But yeah, there's lots of worrying signs today for me. Too much for me to really dissect one by one. But let's project forward a little bit. We're now a couple of hours away from the transfer window starting up again. What do you want to see? I think I know where we're going with this, but I want you to tell the people what we need in January.
No, I keep changing my mind. Like a striker, sure, but what service did a striker have to feed off today? Against West Ham, that striker makes the difference. Today, I don't know. Maybe it gives us another option to go long, but we don't seem willing to try that anyway. We had Havertz. He could have put Havertz up top. He could have taken Eddie Nketiah off, gone Havertz up top, who's 6'3", 6'4", good in the air, and he didn't try that. So I don't know if Arteta would even get the best of an Ivan Toney, hell, even a Dominic Solanke. I've got no idea.
That's slightly worrying, though, isn't it? You saying that, because that's starting to sound like you're losing faith in the manager a bit. I don't want to paraphrase you.
He's testing my patience. He's testing my patience this season. He is, but he's done so much great work, and he's a young manager who does seem to learn from his mistakes. I think. I can't remember off the top of my head of every single one he's made, but yeah, that's a conversation for another day. I think at the moment, everyone just needs to get their heads together, beat Liverpool, go into the next round of the FA Cup, because I'm desperate to win that, and then take that winter break and actually hopefully they go for some warm weather training somewhere, get out of the country and just stop and take stock. Tomiyasu getting back fit, Partey getting back fit, and I know he's probably going to AFCON. See where we are with Timber, get players into the transfer window early, and then try and go again. You can't stop fighting. Look, I have said with Chest all season, and to be fair, I haven't actually faltered till about now, where I've always said from day one, I think we're going to win the league. And that wasn't, I think we can win the league. No, I've said, I think we're going to win the league. Today, my position has changed. It is, we are not my favourites to win the league this season anymore. Can we? Yes. But I don't have that confidence in the team because we just haven't looked at the outfit in the last 5 games. Brighton, sure. Liverpool, there was a lot of encouragement, but that was sandwiched either side by Villa, which was a disappointing loss. 2 bad moments this week. We can make tweaks and changes, add a player, and suddenly I'll believe again. And I do believe we're capable. But just right now, in the heat of the post-battle, it's really not my confidence this week. It really has. And bad way to go into 2024. But
not a good way. But let me try and end on something positive. Give me something positive to go forward into 2024.
No, that we regroup and that there's a break after Liverpool and you get some players back fit. You sign a couple. But this is we've been found out a little bit here. Last season, Liverpool were really struggling, losing on the road every time they played away and all that. And then they went, let's move Trent inside, let's move Salah out wide, let's do something different with our midfield. And listen, they didn't get top 4, but they built some momentum that's carried them into this season. We need to do something different because we've been found out tactically, in my opinion.